So my company for the last 11 years has been focused on media, and we started out primarily doing videos. And we really grew the business because we found out that a lot of our clients, we made these awesome videos, and then their websites were terrible. They couldn't house the video, they couldn't embed it, and so we added web design to our services. And then several years ago, after listening to Dan and kind of thinking about who I am and different things, my parents are both college professors, and my mom actually was a 5th grade teacher for a couple decades. And I remember being in school thinking, why would anyone want to be a teacher? They're poor, they're always in class, how boring is that? So I vowed that I would never be a teacher. Well, the more, the older and more mature I get, a little more mature, the more I find that I like teaching and educating. And so we do a lot of e-learning, online training, products and services for some of our clients. And I'll talk a little bit about that. So, what are you going to learn today? A couple of our clients, we've had some projects with Kroger, Ziegler, and I got to go to the Final Four a couple years ago when Ohio State was there, which I'm a Buckeye, so that was awesome. And we got to film some interviews with some coaches, got to go to the games for free. So if you're thinking about getting into video, I'd recommend it because you can go anywhere if you just bring a video camera. It's great. It's great. So you can do it. And here's why. 11 years ago, I started, and my degree is not in media. Grant and I were talking. I actually have a youth ministry degree. All right, and it's a whole long, awesome story about what God did. But when I started to do video, the first client we had was to produce a car commercial. The funny thing is, we didn't own a video camera. We didn't have any equipment. My business partner at the time loves to sell and then kind of think about how to do it later, which is kind of good, but kind of stressful, So we had to come up with, okay, let's get a camera. Okay, how's this work? And let's, do all this. And so I'm not coming to you from this high, lofty, I'm Mr. Steven Spielberg. It's, hey, I built it from the ground up. And not that you are going to start your own video company. That's not the goal here. But I don't want you to think it's unattainable. What we're going to be talking about. So what we'll learn today is why you should be using video, the importance of it. Is video a big deal? We'll cover that. The easiest types of videos to produce, I want to spark some interest and give you ideas on how you can use video in your business. I'll even give you an easy video template on, okay, you're making a video, how do you do it? What's the content? What are some secrets that I can give you? I'll also give you 7 pro video tips, all right, that will kind of, they should take your videos from not so good to a lot better. And then if we have time, I'll give you some YouTube tricks about when you're posting to YouTube. What are some keys and strategies that you can use to utilize the power of YouTube in your benefit? All right, so this might be you. Reading is hard, I'd rather watch videos. And to be honest, that's all of us. And the stats show that people would rather watch videos than read text, and we're only getting lazier. I mean, I don't think that's good. I don't think any of us are, excited, yay, no reading. But that's just where we are as a culture. And so, be thinking, how can you translate some of even your blog posts, your content to video content, because it really is important. In fact, Forrester Research did a study and found that a website with video on it is 53 times more likely to be on the first page of Google than a website without. And so video is extremely, extremely important. And here's a cool thing. Back when we were in school, plagiarism was a bad thing. Actually, in 5th grade, I got in trouble for that a little bit. But nowadays, it's not as bad, especially with video. In fact, YouTube lets you take other people's videos and put them on your own website. And it's legit, it's legal, it's ethical. So that's one simple trick, is you don't always have to have your video content. In fact, 95% of the videos on my website are my clients' videos. So I kind of cheat as well. So let's talk about why you should be using video. For those of you that don't know, Google actually owns YouTube. Google is the #1 largest search engine in the world. Have you all heard of this Google? Is that familiar? Do I need to? Okay, you've heard of the Google. And YouTube, exactly, the Googles. YouTube is actually the 2nd largest search engine in the world. And because Google owns YouTube, if you have your videos on YouTube, that's going to greatly increase and improve your SEO, which means you're going to get higher in the search rankings, which means more people will find you and hire you. And that's a good thing, right? So videos improve SEO, and they make you awesome. All right? So I would encourage you to use video, and you can be just like this little kid. I mean, in fact, Jamie this morning, I'm staying at Jamie's place. Your son was making awesome faces like this morning. I wish I had my camera, because I would have replaced this kid with your awesome kid. So maybe next time. I don't know if he was tired or cranky or what was happening. But all right, so let me give you a little story. So we worked with this company in Dayton, Ohio called Midwest Fasteners. And they're a construction company. We produce a series of 8 training videos on their top products. They're maybe 5 minutes long or so. We put them on their YouTube channel and on their website. And just in a few short weeks, they got incoming calls for people wanting to buy their products and services. And they were actually surprised at how well these videos were converting for them, because they hadn't even really started the marketing of these videos. They hadn't even really given them to their sales staff to utilize. And so, you know, with larger companies especially, video is so crucial to the sales process. It helps reduce confusion as far as how to install a product, how to use a product, and we'll go over some of that here in a second. So you might be a little more fact-based, all right, maybe like Dwight Schrute here. Yeah. All right, so let's go give you some facts, okay? Some of you, you want these cheesy stories. I will give you facts. So when I read these, I want you to think Dwight Schrute, okay? He was very, hardcore. So, number 1, fact. 1 billion people across the world use YouTube every month. And that is a fact. Fact. 100 hours of video are uploaded to YouTube every minute. All right, every minute. Every minute. Fact, 27% of US viewers access YouTube on their smartphones, and that's only growing. That's only growing. That's enough of the Dwight. So I'll give you a couple other facts. So 96% of consumers find videos helpful in making purchase decisions online. And how many of you have done that, either Amazon or Zappos? Exactly. Okay, so you guys are normal, just like all these other people. The 4% of you that didn't raise your hand, that's the 4%. They don't watch videos apparently. So. And then 52% of consumers say that watching product videos make them more confident in online purchase decisions. All right? So Tom, as you're coaching clients and even in your own business, I would recommend, videos of your products. I've talked to some of you about, hey, get those videos, online. Even if you start with using your smartphone, just start. That's the whole purpose of this little talk here. And then lastly, according to Social Media Examiner, 76% of marketers plan to add video to their sites, making it a higher priority than Facebook, Twitter, and blog integration. So video is kind of a big deal, all right? And I want to get you guys into the game. So any thoughts so far? Have I sparked anything? Have anything that you didn't know or want to change? You're like, yeah, we need to do it. Yeah.
I'll be adding other people's videos to my website.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just trying to figure how to use it to promote my real estate broker service. I haven't been able to wrap my mind around that.
So, and I'll talk about this a little more here in a second. In fact, I will. I'll talk about it a little more in a second. Anybody else? I know. Yes, ma'am.
I was thinking my stick of building blocks need a video.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As visual as they are, it's an easy thing. Yeah.
Definitely.
I know a guy that can do this.
He's not cheap, though. All right, so what if I told you that video is easier than you think? All right, when I started, I know... All right, so a little matrixing. Exactly. It's cool that now, we have a video camera on our phone. How crazy is that? We live in the future, hoverboards are next, I would imagine. That's never been possible before, and so it's easier and easier to get video on your website. So here are some of the easiest videos to produce. Mike, you asked, how do I get videos online? How do I start? So let's talk about a couple of these. So a website intro video. Some of you, Greg, with your book, you could kind of give your story about why did I write this book? Who am I helping? Who's it for? You know, my background, it's a very passionate story of your background and how you help people. And people are drawn to stories, to emotion. They're not drawn to the, Dwight Schrute facts. Most people want stories.
Do you have a recommended length for that?
Yes. So generally 3 minutes or less if you're just giving a video, and a lot of times even 2 minutes or less. If you're giving a training product, e-learning, courses, things like that, there are studies that have shown 7 minutes is kind of the cap. And you can break it into modules. So 7 minutes is kind of the length. And that actually ties in, oddly enough, that ties into, it used to be when the commercial breaks on television happened. So TV has conditioned us at that 7 minute mark, hey, commercial time, let's just change a pace, change a mindset. Now, because YouTube and other sites are so prevalent, we've gotten lazier, so that's where the 2 or 3 minutes is kind of the next milestone. And you'll actually see it, especially if you upload your videos to YouTube, which you should. You'll see the analytics on how long people are watching and when they're dropping off. So you can even test that out.
How about on like the explainer videos there,
Mm-hmm.
animated ones like Dan showed versus the talking head there?
I think the animated ones are brilliant, because they show a concept. And they started with a lot of these software as a service companies. And how do you show, a service or a software? Well, you do these whiteboard videos, these cartoons, these animated things. So I think, especially if you're not comfortable in front of the camera, which I'll be honest, I'm not very comfortable in front of the camera either, all right? I just got cold sweats turning that camera on and, walking in front of it. And so if you can find a way to not be on camera, that's a strategy. However, if you're building your brand, I think you need to get on camera. It doesn't have to be every time, but people need to know who you are. If you're selling you got to be on camera.
Yeah, I think that's the answer. One of the answers to Mike's question is that I think that like when I think real estate investment and an online video, I think there's someone that I don't trust. But
Absolutely.
Your personality, you're very sincere, and so you're just going to be Mike. That will sell partnerships with you.
Promise?
If I'm what's that?
Promise?
I'm in, buddy.
All right.
Because you know how to use other people's money. So just somewhere to sign, right?
It's good. It's good. This one, FAQ videos, this is the easiest way, and Mike, this is this is one of the answers to your question, is we all get the same questions about our business, about our process, about everything, and I don't think we fully understand the questions that come in, and we all know the answers. If you ask me any question about video, I will give you the answers. And so some of you are going to be doing some videos tomorrow, some FAQ videos that I'll be filming, but you could do them yourself, all right? Who's ever doing those tomorrow, you already signed a contract, we're doing them tomorrow, you already paid me, no. But Andy brought up, people want to know you. And there's other stats I didn't put on here about how video builds trust, it builds engagement, it increases sales. And so I can't recommend it highly enough. So FAQ videos, what are the things that people are asking you on a continual basis? Put them in videos. I just did a series of 20 videos on Wednesday with a guy. And we're going to drip those out over the course of, I'm not sure, either 10 or 20 weeks. We haven't decided yet. And Google will eat that up. Google loves fresh, relevant content. And so just like podcasts or blogs, the more consistent you are, the better. So not that you have to have this, every 52 weeks out of the year. If you can do 10 of them and drip them over 10 weeks, there have been cool studies that show how your Google rankings will rise with that. A vlog, so this is just a video blog. So if you're blogging, if you're writing articles, hey, why not turn on your laptop, just talk to the camera, and just give that same content. And you can give the reader the option to watch or to read. And you might be surprised, people are watching this.
It's a friendly environment, and Dan actually mentioned earlier about challenging each other. So I want to challenge you with this question.
Yes, sir.
Which is, we know that SEO looks for words,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would much rather do a video blog than to write. But I'm concerned about search.
But Google also loves video even more, and they're only increasing. They've shown that they're only increasing because video. It's challenging. It takes time. Those of you that have done it, it's not easy. Writing's easier.
And
So-
transcribes your videos.
Correct.
So there's a transcript up there. It's not always right. but
It's not always
There
right,
is a
yeah.
transcript up there, so.
So
And-
the other part is then how important does my headline become, or my description
Well,
of my YouTube video?
And we'll talk about that at the end. Your headline on your video is the same as a blog headline and description. So we'll kind of talk about that too, but I think that's a great question.
Would you recommend writing the blog and having it there and then embedding the video?
Sure.
As sort of dual content?
Yeah, I think you can experiment. You know, ask your readers, which do you like better? You know, are you lazy? Do you want to watch the video, or would you rather read? Because some would rather read, some would rather watch. And you can even upload the text of your blog to YouTube as it's called a transcript, and that will give a better closed captioning than what Google does. All right, so this is an easy one. Put your PowerPoint presentations into videos. All right, I'm going to be doing this. So this guy is going to be a video right here. So if you're giving presentations to your customers, to your clients, try to put it online. You know, you've already done the work of putting this into a PowerPoint. Just make it into a video. And if you don't like being on video, you know, I can just record my voice and put it underneath, or you know, put it with the PowerPoint, and that's a video right there. You know, people don't have to see me.
How do you do that exactly? Can you say it like in 2 sentences?
So with yeah, exactly, ScreenFlow.
Well, not everybody has that.
Oh, Camtasia for the PC. Camtasia I think is like $200 or $300 on a PC. 300 on a Mac. ScreenFlow is like $50.
But in both Keynote and PowerPoint, there's a narration option where as long as you've got a good mic and you're plugged into your computer, you know, you can narrate right over your slides.
Exactly. Yeah.
Would a good mic be considered the mic in the computer?
On a Mac, definitely. On a
Wha-
Mac.
It depends on the.
We'll talk about that in a minute. It's better than nothing. Start with simple. Yep.
And I've seen people do that where they'll upload a blog, a video, and a SlideShare. And when you Google that term, yours is the first three, and
Yeah.
usually the blog is the third one.
That's great.
One of the very last slides is a link to a blog I wrote that has this slide share. I'm going to put this video on it, and so exactly. Yep. And then we talked about screencasts. So I've done maybe even hundreds of these software demos as I walk through a client. Hey, here's how to use the software. When we develop websites for our clients, a lot of times we'll give website walkthroughs. Here's how to log in. Here's how to add content. Those are easy ones. Tutorials, so yeah, however that applies to you in your business, that to me is an easy way to create a video, is to show somebody. And here's a tip. Here's a free tip. Whenever you search for something on Google and you either do or don't find an answer, make a video about it. If you don't find an answer on how to solve X, Y, or Z, make a video about it. I guarantee that'll drive traffic to your video and to your website. And if you do find a tutorial on it, a video on it, and it's not good, make a better one. Because again, I guarantee yours is going to rise in the rankings. I didn't put this in the stats, but Dwight Schrute, if you're like him, he would love this. About 30% of all YouTube searches are how-to related. Okay, so if you're a teacher, kind of at heart like me, the teaching, the training videos, how to do X, Y, or Z, are perfect for YouTube.
What's the percentage on that?
30%, it's 28%, but we'll round up because it's probably growing. What's that? That's true. Fact.
Yeah, I got a thought. I was talking with somebody, or a couple people didn't hear about this the other night, but I think one of the coolest things about video is that it's so easy too to take the audio from it, and so you have sort of a 2-for-1. If you do a podcast, if you're starting a podcast, just do the video, and then that's your podcast too.
Yeah.
So you
Well, and then you take the words and transcribe it, and then
transcribe it,
you
so
got
you got
Exactly.
3 different things, and so it's a very efficient way to do it. And
It is.
it's very good.
And if you have a VA, you can have them transcribe it.
I know a woman who takes her podcast transcript, pops it up on Amazon as an ebook, sells it for 99 cents.
Wow. That's great. Yeah.
Slow down, too many good ideas.
All right. And so an easy video template. This is a little too easy. You're going to be like, wow, that was really easy. So this is one way when you're making a video, how do you make a video? What content do you put in here? And I'm no professional speaker like we have here in the back, but this kind of goes back to when you're giving a presentation. Okay, so first thing is tell them what you're going to say, then say it, then remind them what you just said. And that's true with video as well. You know, a lot of videos you see on YouTube or YouTube channels, you know, these videos that they come out every week, they'll say, hey, in this video, we're going to be talking about X, Y, or Z. And then show, don't tell. As much as possible, find a visual. So if it's your building blocks, that's perfect. You know, don't just go through a PowerPoint and have boring text, boring, you know, stats. Try to tell stories, try to give visuals as much as possible. And that's when you're doing your PowerPoint and you make it into a video, put graphs, put charts, put pictures, and all that, you know, good stuff. And then lastly, and this is one of the bigger mistakes, I think in the Facebook group somebody said, you know, what are some big mistakes? Include a call to action. A lot of videos I see, you know, you watch the video and you're like, oh, that was nice. I guess I'm a better person for that. And there's a time and a place for, you know, like a informational video. But like, you know, what do you want that person to do? Direct them to your website. Because if you put them on YouTube, yes, you embed them on your site, but that video is still on YouTube. And so direct them back to your site. Ask them to fill out a form. Ask them to do whatever you want them to do. Give you a call. Fill out, you know, a form for an ebook, whatever. All right. See how easy that was? So I'll let you read that here. If you can't read that, it says, I don't always shoot videos on my smartphone, but when I do, I hold it in landscape. So we're going to do a little activity here. I want everyone to take out your phone. Okay? I know you got them, unless it's a flip phone. All right?
And don't show us.
Okay. So hold it up, and I want you to hold it like this. Okay? So we're talking about how to make videos with your phone. This is how you do it. Okay, and look at this. Look how this phone actually kind of resembles a television. All right? All right, so you can put your phones down.
And unlock the screen so it.
Good call. So we got a video right there of our friend Dan Miller. And okay, so this is a TV. Look how well that fits. Does anybody notice how that just naturally looks good? All right, you might see where I'm going with this. So, okay, that's a good way. So, cute little puppy, okay? We want to show the world. Look how terrible that is. Look at all this unfilled space right there. Okay, so if you are doing videos on your phone, don't hold it like this. Okay, I know that's the easy way. I always kind of yell at my mother-in-law, all right? She does it terribly. It's funny, she actually wanted to watch this video, so I guess I can't show her now.
Are you willing to receive something on that?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. No, I broke this rule too. The other day, my 3-year-old daughter, Adelie, said, you know, watch how high I can jump. And I'm expecting, you know, like Michael Jordan. So I hold it like this. And, you know, there are times where filming like this is okay, but for the most part, you know, film landscape.
Is it useful to film like that when you want to have text on the sides, or?
Sure, yeah. I mean, this is the exception to the rule,
Okay.
you know. But for the most part, you know, if you're doing like a selfie video, you know, hey, camera, this is the best way to do it. All right. So from now on, just picture your television and how your phone just kind of fits naturally there in your television. You'll thank me later.
Does it go like this?
Yes. The iPhone actually will do it either way.
So you can't do it upside down?
No. Well, I don't know about PCs. Probably on a PC, you know, but on a Mac it fixes it for you. All right. Stabilize your video. All right. You know, the Jason Bourne movies, you know, were famous for like shaky cam stuff. I know that's kind of popular online, and I'm not saying never do that, but you know, try to stabilize your camera. They make mounts where you can mount your iPhone onto a tripod. All right. If you're on a computer, just make it stable, make it steady. Unless you have an earthquake, nobody wants to see, you know, the camera moving. Record better audio. So here are a couple tips for recording the audio. If you don't have a microphone, just get closer to your computer. All right, I know that's kind of awkward, you know, don't get, you know, right into the camera there, but get as close as you can, because good audio is actually of high importance of the quality of the video. All right, it's actually one of the main things. A lot of people think that that's kind of the last. Maybe it's the camera or the lighting. The audio is actually very, very, very important.
Jeff,
Yes.
do they make a microphone for the iPhone?
I'm glad you asked. Point number 3 right here. You would think that was a setup, but it really wasn't. So I actually have this guy right here. It's 23 bucks. It's in my trunk. I haven't used it, so I'm not sure how good it is, but it got really good reviews, so I bought it. And then the Rode Smart Lav is for iPhone and Android phones as well.
Does the Rode Smart Lav work for video recording, or is it just work with the app, the Rode recording app?
That's a good question.
I have
All right,
that
next slide.
mic, and I've used it with the app, which is fantastic. I've just never tried it with the video.
Yeah, because I don't do a lot of consumer level videos, and so I was doing some research and found this. So that's a great question. So on your notes, write question mark or something.
So, little Mac PC thing. Both of these things work well
Yeah,
with PC.
yeah. So both of those fit in the little headphone jack in your phone, on your computer. Even some of your little camcorders have those microphone jacks, and these will fit into those.
Jeff, and then you just clip it on, is that the deal?
Yeah, they have clips, like this guy here. All right, last couple of things, proper lighting. Somebody asked, is it good to have, these big studio lights or outside lights? I recommend use natural light when possible, and that could be as easy as just sitting in front of a window. The other day, my daughter went to this Tuesday school. It's kind of like preschool, and she's learning her ABC song. And so I videotaped it in our basement, and the lighting was terrible. And so of course, what do? I say, all right, Adelie, we're going outside. We're going to re-record this puppy. So we go outside. I re-record it, and it looked 10 times better. So lighting indoors generally isn't very good. So if it's either or, use natural light. So hopefully this isn't diving into the weeds too much, but for some of you, this will be really good. So this is a professional light setup. This is called a 3-point lighting. You can go more in depth, but generally the key light is your main light, and that's just off to the side. So it's, it's coming at me right here, and this is the strongest light. Now you don't want a spotlight on the person, so you want, your goal is to eliminate shadows. Your fill light just kind of softens the other side. And if you look on TV, sometimes that fill light, you almost see like light and dark, and sometimes it's more gradual. Sometimes it wraps a little better. Personally, I like it wrapping a lot more. Some people, like that more defined line. And it does have to do with the mood you're setting. So if you're trying to, paint somebody as a bad guy, lighting is used to do that. And then your backlight. The purpose of a backlight is to, and it's also called a rim light, is to kind of separate you from your background. I'll be honest, I don't always use a backlight every single time, but it's recommended, and so, yeah, I recommend that.
I have a question. If you were going to film using natural light, let's say by a window, should you be in front of, should the window be behind you, or?
Great question. So let's say we're filming by that window back there.
Right.
I would actually maybe stand here and put the camera there, or actually I do an angle. So I'd put the camera where Aaron is there.
Make that like your backlight.
No, that would be technically, we're flipping this, so my key light.
Okay, got it.
You could put a fill on this side just to soften it up.
Got it.
You really don't want to have a window behind you or a door behind you, because generally, if you're on automatic settings on your camera, the camera is exposing for the bright light, and you're just going to be all washed out and look terrible. So,
Is it coincidental, or is that where the backlight belongs, is set on the side of the key light and not directly behind you?
that's recommended. I mean, rules are made to be broken, but yeah, for the most part, you want that, on the key light side. Yep. And you can do all sorts of crazy, other lights, but I mean, let's face it, you guys probably aren't going to, do that. So, yeah.
If you have a white backdrop, do you need a backlight?
Yeah. So, are you talking about like the Apple, the infinity white kind of thing?
Just where you've got a plain white background behind you.
So, say the question again.
Do you need a backlight? If you're standing in front of the board.
Right.
White screen.
Or white.
If you have a dark shirt, I'd recommend it. If you have a white shirt, it doesn't really do anything. If you're trying to go for the Apple look, where it's like, wow, there's no background, it's just all this white, that takes many lights. 3 or 4 lights on the backdrop, then 3 or 4 lights on you.
I think if he's saying if you're standing in front of a white wall.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how many lights are in the room. I know I'm not answering your question because there's so many variables. We'll just say no. That's the easy answer. He's like, that didn't answer at all.
Jeff, to go back to what Deb was saying,
Yeah.
so if I was, like I've got a Mac in a home office, and got great lighting from two big windows behind the Mac.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I video myself on the Mac, I'm sitting in front of the Mac, windows are behind the Mac, is that kind of a good ideal way to do
Yeah,
it?
yeah, because the sunlight will naturally kind of wrap around you and do some tests. If you kind of see that like you are dark and everything else is well lit, you might either have to back up from the computer, maybe swivel the computer around so the sunlight's kind of coming on you more. But I would think that would work. I mean, if you have one of those big iMacs that covers the sun, then that might be a little challenging. But
How high should the camera be positioned?
I like the lens to be eye level. I've filmed some people that are super tall, and so we're kind of looking up at the person, and it subtly, if the person on camera is looking down at the camera, you're almost looking down at the viewer, and so you subconsciously are telling that to people, like I'm looking down at you. So there's a lot of like psychological stuff in videos too that you don't always think about.
Hey Jeff, in our new house, we have a lot moved in, they have the new bulbs, like, I'm thinking these are the new bulbs. And like, my wife hates that lighting, and I'm just wondering, like, and this might be silly, but like Jimmy Fallon, new show, okay, old show, new host, that his lighting is really like bright and strong, it just gives a different feel
Yeah.
than sort of the warm bulbs. So for those of us who have at-home lighting, you might go, well, that's well lit. Should we get the old bulbs? Should we get new, or just go for natural light as much as possible?
Go for natural light as much as possible. If you have day balanced bulbs, that's fine. If you have more of these warmer bulbs, that's also fine. What you don't want to do is mix the two. A lot of times, so our eyeball, when we look outside or we look at here, our eyes can adjust. The camera doesn't know what is true white. So is the camera saying, is this bulb really white, or is it a white piece of paper? What is my proper white? And so that's when you see people with those white balance cards or different things. You're trying to tell the camera like what is white. So I mean, ideally you want it daylight balanced, but if you have all these soft bulbs or whatever they're called, that's fine too.
That's more about the fluorescence, because they just have different
Right.
harshness to them.
Yeah, you just don't want to mix a bunch, fluorescence and the other kinds and
Okay.
daylight and all that. Yeah, good question. So let's move right along. So rule of thirds, this is also a photography thing. So if you're taking pictures, generally you'll want the person on the 1/3 of the side of the frame. And a lot of times you want their eye line kind of going through that top third as well. Now, again, rules are made to be broken. If you are in the middle, if you're looking at your computer, I don't think